What's up, minions? Welcome back to the channel here for today. Demon of Empire speaking. In this video, I will be giving you guys my review for episode 4 of Gotham, Legend of the Dark Knight. Now, before I go any further, I want to point out that I will be discussing spoilers for episodes 3 and 4 of the final season of Gotham. So for those who haven't watched the episodes yet and do not wish to be spoiled, I'll give you guys a brief moment to click off the video. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. So when we last left off at the end of episode 3, the safe zone overseen by Jim Gordon, Haven, was set ablaze with no warning and no clear cause. Meanwhile, Selina Kyle headed into the Dark Zone with help of Bruce Wayne, seeking revenge for what Jeremiah Valeska had done to her at the end of Season 4. Episode 4 begins where Episode 3 left off after the explosion in Haven. Smoke is in the air, and various civilians are injured and need medical attention. After the fires are put out, Gordon meets up with Bullock, who hands him his badge before heading out. We then cut to Jim Gordon telling the government what's at stake. Yet for all of Gordon's efforts, help is slow in coming. We then cut to Bruce Wayne, who is restrained to a metal doorway in the previous episode. A couple of thugs show up and try to attack Bruce. Then Alfred shows up and rescues him. Bruce tells Alfred what happened. Then Alfred tells Bruce that he cannot save Selina from herself. As Gordon is speaking to Barbara Keene about the whole situation, Penguin shows up at the GCPD, surprisingly ready to assist Gordon and the police. The combined forces of Penguin and the GCPD move through the streets, ready to face whoever rigged the explosives in Haven. As they are patrolling the streets, they come across a sniper who turns out to be Victor Zsasz. The combined forces of the GCPD and Penguin's thugs open fire on him, and Gordon sneaks in and restrains him. Unfortunately, it turns out that Zsasz is innocent, but even so, Penguin still insists that Zsasz is guilty and must be brought to justice, and thus brings him to trial. While all of this is happening, Edward Nygma inexplicably wakes up next to an empty suitcase. We then see him sneaking his way into the GCPD in search of the name of an inmate. He gets caught by Lucius Fox, who attempts to enlist the Riddler's help in assessing the damage done to the buildings in Haven. From what the two of them gather, it turns out that the explosion was not done with a simple bomb. It was an RPG that was fired from a rooftop and detonated oil tanks near the detonated buildings. One step closer to finding out who was responsible for the event. Jim Gordon brings the evidence that Fox and Nygma gather with him to the trial, and he points it out to the so-called jury, which is basically just a mob. But this jury completely ignores Gordon's evidence and pronounces Victor Zsasz guilty. They then bring Zsasz to the guillotine, and Penguin sentences him to death. But Gordon intervenes and fires a gun in the air and escorts Zsasz out of the building before releasing him. Elsewhere in the city, Selina Kyle is sneaking around in the Dark Zone. Before long, she locates her target, Jeremiah Valeska, as he kills one of his own recruits. We then see him chatting with his Quinn-esque partner, and we get a clear visual of the so-called relationship between Jeremiah and his quote-unquote partner, which is very reminiscent of the relationship between Harley Quinn and the Joker in the animated series. As Selina attempts to sneak up on Jeremiah by disguising herself, Bruce and Alfred use the dark to their advantage, just like Batman, really. Selina manages to stab Jeremiah multiple times while he's monologuing. Bruce and Alfred intervene, and then they all head out. As the episode draws to a close, surprise, surprise, it turns out the one who fired the RPG and caused the explosion in Haven was in fact the Riddler, who did so while he was blacked out. We also get to see Jim Gordon and Barbara Keene finally get back together just before the end credits roll. I very much enjoyed this episode. I was genuinely surprised by the plot twist with the Riddler being the one who caused all that destruction in the previous episode. I also liked how they went about the relationship between Jeremiah and his Quinn-esque partner. With that said, I am very interested to see how his part in the story is going to play out with him being stabbed and presumably dead. But I want to know what you guys think. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Take care. And as always, peace and love to everyone.